Have you ever tried putting a pattern on a card? Today we're going to make two. Welcome back to another Take Two with Therese at Altenew, and I have two cards I've been playing with patterns, and this Polish Papercuts 3D die is the perfect die set to play with. It's an older one from Altenew, and I love that you can layer up the images and create them as your own. So I started by choosing a colour palette. I've got some navy cardstock that I thought would make a great background, and then I've got some of the gradient cardstocks from Altenew and some beautiful bright pinks and teal, blue, green colours. After I chose my colours, then it was time to sort of roughly work out what my design was. So I actually initially started using the die cuts themselves and sort of planning out what pattern might work with these layering dies. I did notice there are a few amazing examples at the blog itself, but you can really do this with a lot of different die sets, and that's something I did want to share with you today, that it doesn't have to be this specific style. You can use this technique with other dies that you have. So then once I worked out my rough palette of dies that I was going to use, I thought it's going to be easier actually just to go ahead and do some die cutting. So that's what I did. I got lots of different layers of the colors together. But one thing I did do was sort of keep everything similar. I wanted the colors and the pattern to flow. So you'll notice that all of my leaves are layered the same, in the same color combos, in the same sizes. My flowers are the same, and this is what's going to flow the pattern through my card design, is bringing the colors together in the elements that I've chosen to layer up. The next thing I thought would be fun to add a little bit of dimension. Now, I didn't add dimension between the layers on the actual images, so I actually glued them directly to each other, but thought it would be good to add dimension to my main elements of my design, so the flowers and the large leaves. So next I sort of laid them out how I was planning on the card front, and I still needed to flow the colors through a little bit and the pattern, and that's where I thought these curly swirls, I don't know what else to call them, would come in handy. And I did do them all the same color. It kind of makes it look like it's the stem of the actual images. And for those, I actually did come in and adhere them directly to the cardstock, but I was finding it a little bit hard to kind of remember where they needed to be. So what I did was come in with my pencil and make some tick marks on my cardstock so that I could just simply adhere them directly down. It's not very forgiving. This liquid glue is not forgiving, so it's easier to try and get it right first time. But if you're not confident to do that, you could use a dotted glue like the Altenew glue tape, because that will only put dots of glue on the bit, and you can lift it up and replace it if you need to. Now, I did cut this other curly swirls down a little bit, but I probably really didn't need to be quite so pedantic about that, because this is where I'm going to place my sentiment anyway. This card would have looked nice without a sentiment, but I find it really hard to leave cards without sentiments. I don't know if you're the same as me, but I find I actually like to add my sentiment then and there, because then it's all ready to go. I can just grab it from a stash and give it away straight away. I don't have to think about what to add to it later. I used sentiments from the Hello and Hugs set. I just thought one of the sub-sentiments would be enough, and I stamped that in some Desert Night ink. It's a really dark blue. I thought that just tied in the navy blue background for this design. I had a lot of fun making this card, and I just love die cutting and the way that these bright colours look. I loved it so much that I thought I'd stretch it, and this time try something similar with the lovely envelope die set. So this time I was thinking originally maybe doing some flowers, but then once I started working out my pattern, I did it all the same as I did on the previous card, just sort of Didn't have to rethink my colour palette this time because I was keeping the same colours. But basically, once I die cut some of the hearts out and started layering them up, I thought, why not make them the focus of this card design? So I did 3 layers again, and I didn't concentrate too much on the layers of the colours that I used. I figured as long as they were in that same colour palette, it was all going to match. And because I want to pop these hearts up, I am actually adding a second layer of die cut behind the actual heart, so it's not too flimsy when I add the foam tape behind it, and it's going to hold together pretty well through the mail. I thought I'd take this card just that little step further and make it a circle card just to change it up. I have my largest circle die that I own and decided to cut a little piece off the base of the card so that it is going to be able to stand up. And here I'm just working out which side I need to score because I want a side fold card here. Normally with circle cards I do top folds, but for a change I thought I'd do a side fold. And I thought that this actually would make a really nice gift card as well. So I could punch a little hole in the side of the card, thread some twine through it and tie it onto a present. I thought that would look really nice. One thing I do want to let you know though is that when you are creating the score line for your card, you do need to use a strong glue to hold the 2 pieces of card together. So I've used the Altenew adhesive double-sided tape and a couple of drops of liquid glue. Just make sure that you just have a nice strong glue so that it doesn't pull apart when you go to stand the card up. And then it was just as simple as transferring my design over to the card and adhering it all together onto the front of the card and adding another sentiment from the Hello and Hugs set. I just love these colours together. They make me really happy, and I hope that you've enjoyed me stretching the products today to give you a couple of fun repeat designs. And I'd like to know in the comments below which one is your favourite and if you're going to be trying this technique. Until next time, bye.
Hello there, did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.